So let's go to Tesla then, because this boggles my mind, and I don't understand like how this is possible. Like how Tesla
No, that's very typical for Tesla. Not that many people realize that.
how from a niche company to be ahead of titans in the industry like BMW.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing.
How this happened, and what's
um,
the disruptive force behind Tesla? Is it the electric car itself? I don't think so. Many other companies have done electric cars. What is the
no, like
disruption force behind Tesla?
Tesla. I mean, no. Can you imagine like 2015, 16, 17? Even now, some people they were not taking them seriously. Like no one was expecting this kind of disruption. Like trying to analyze deeply the roots of that. I think Elon's philosophy of another interesting point is that 2013 BMW was at the forefront of the electric cars technology with the BMW
Yeah,
i3. So everyone was expecting that it's done. Like BMW is making electric cars now. It's okay. It's solved problems. And 7 years after, they haven't responded to the Tesla Model S. Like they haven't managed to produce a BMW 5 kind of series that will be an direct answer to the US and Elon's Model S. Um, so it's a very complicated issue to see. I think again, Elon's philosophy. Elon said, "I'm not trying to make the best electric car." He says, "I'm gonna make the best car. Period." And in order to make the best car, you need to go electric because the acceleration is amazing. So that's the key point. BMW wants to build the electric technology and having the BMW i3, but in a way that it's not gonna cannibalize the rest of the production. Another point that I see super relevant, and I don't think that many people focus on, is that again in the US, people can optimize around the technical issues and optimize around the product. BMW, Audi, but that's the case with Lockheed Martin and all this Boeing and all these huge corporations. They're not optimizing around the product. They're optimizing also around politics. They optimize around job creation. It's not just a car. It's so much more. Like it's very typical. Like if you go in a party, social gathering in Munich, and you ask people what they do, like something like ridiculous. 8 out of 10 will say, "I'm doing something for BMW, either directly or indirectly." BMW is like Detroit. What Detroit was around General Motors. So can you imagine the size of what's happening here? What's the stake? The stakes are like if you go electric in a day, there's so much people, so much expertise. Like what's gonna happen with them? What are we gonna do? You need to transform the industry in a slower pace that is more socially acceptable as well, and it's also realistic for the society here as well. It's a very complex issue, and the thing with the US is that because they're structured differently, they have a very
Well,
different thinking
they don't have
around.
a social aspect in their
Exactly.
government, right? In their
It's
politics.
it's a different philosophy, it's a different way of thinking things, and that gives them the freedom to do that kind of stuff. But at the same time, in crisis like that, you read about 30 million unemployed people. Like it's
Yeah,
philosophies. You see two philosophies at play, and you see how these philosophies also manifest themselves into products and all this stuff we're talking about. It's very complex to say what's the play here, the interplay.
but again, what is the disruptive force? I don't understand it. Like, if first of all, the Tesla, the SUV, the YX, what's the I don't remember the.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
SX.
250,000 Canadian
Mm,
dollars. I could
yes.
get like what's the best BMW M6 I don't know. It is gonna be half the price, and I you can't tell me that's a better
Have
the
you
Tesla is a better product.
have you driven a Tesla?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Highly recommend. Then I think you're gonna get some answers, some really direct answers, because I
Other
highly
than the
recommend that. Like,
acceleration and
okay,
deceleration, right?
I'm not promoting Tesla. I'm just,
Yeah, dude,
but
I like them too. I really and I think that we should be conscious on the planet
yeah,
in the
sure.
future.
They're super cool.
But as a product, because you said we're talking about products, and I definitely believe that cars are products, and we should treat them as such. I'm having a hard
Mm,
time.
um, highly recommend that you drive one. You can just go to it online and just write them, and they're gonna call you for a 15, 20 minutes drive. It's really easy. I've done it
Okay.
because I've had the same question as you. You know, I was not expecting much, to be honest, and I drove this Tesla Model S. Okay, I was impressed at this precise moment I was driving the Model S, but then something more interesting happened. Then I drove a BMW. They have this car sharing concept here. I
Hmm.
think it's also a thing in
Yep.
US and Canada. So I drove a the BMW. Was a really good model. It was a Model 3, super equipped, super powerful, and it felt old. After the experience of Tesla, I was feeling like I was in, the phenomenon is exactly the same with what happened to me, and I guess a lot of people with the iPhone. After you got the iPhone at your hand, going back to a Nokia was like, what? Okay, no, it doesn't make sense anymore. Like, wow, it feels old. It feels old century.
Wow.
You, this is exactly. It's a very,
It's a
very real thing,
huge
and
comparison, dude.
it
It's like
is.
it's
It
like
is
an era, like an era.
yeah. Totally. I highly recommend you experience that, and it's really easy. Just go online, book, because the philosophy of Tesla is that another thing that um in their they call them the Tesla, not shops, because they have like this Apple strategy of having a dedicated building
Uh huh.
for selling cars. If you go to their facilities, they don't have this smokiness and that we get from another kind of car company. They're very friendly and they're open to people try them, drive them and whatever. And so highly recommend that to anyone. So you get this iPhone moment. So for me, that was huge and unexpected to be honest. And I hear that from a lot of people that do that now, that's looking for a car and they cannot go back. Going to internal combustion engine after that doesn't make sense. It's big.
That's a huge comparison that you make. But the what is what do you think is that? What's the attribute? Is it that that is electric or something
Yeah,
different
a
that?
big factor. It's the electric, the fact that you just floor it to, and with just thinking you go to a place without this delay that the mechanical thing it's having. In traditional internal combustion thing, just floor it and then you wait a bit and then something happens. That's big. And also the software at Tesla's is on a totally different level. The experience and the simplicity of it and the whole, it just works. It makes sense, and I totally dig it personally.